Hey guys, SLCat here. So, I have a cabinet here in my room that I use as a display for my models. I actually bought it for this exact purpose. You see, I'm not a huge fan of, let's say, traditional display cases. Yeah, lots of glass all around is probably super convenient and great for observing models, but it's just not really my style for living room. Anyways, I'm happy with this cabinet except for one thing. It really needs some lighting. And that's exactly what this video about. So, without further ado, let's go! Alright, here's what I needed for this job. 16mm triangular aluminum profile, already cut to the pieces I need. The LED strip sits at a 45-degree angle inside. The LED strip itself. I've got a few strips with decent CRI on paper, but honestly, I don't have a dedicated tools to measure it, so I just picked the one with the parameters I'm looking for, around 5200 Kelvin and relatively small tint shift. Power supply. In my case, I need about 50 watts max, but I've got 60 for some extra capacity. A controller, so I can control it with my phone or voice assistant. Some cables. What else? Cable channels to hide the wires, a bunch of heat shrink tubing, connectors for the LED strip so I didn't have to solder too much, Vega connectors, and some strong 3M tape to mount everything, and some other small bits and pieces. Now, it's time to install the strip. Soldering was unavoidable anyway, at least I have to extend some wires and tin the pins for connectors. Here's the wiring diagram. The picture on the right shows how it connects using the Vega connectors. And yeah, I originally planned one long run, but then decided to split it into two sections, just for easier wiring and splitting the power. Okay, soldering done. Now, I need to assemble the whole thing on the floor, to make sure everything actually works. Seriously, never skip testing, including the app control. Honestly, the thickest part was timing. I had to wait until my little one wasn't home. Taking all the models out and leaving them at the table for half a day with a 2-year-old around, well, that's just asking for trouble. But anyway, I got my chance and started work. You guys just hang tight here for a bit. Quick note on light placement. I tried a few options and ended up on mounting the lights at the top front of the shelf. This gives even exposure, and the light doesn't shine directly in your eyes. I really hate if it does. Also, because the light source is horizontal, the light spreads nice and smooth. The cable channels let me route the wires neatly behind the back panel, where I will connect everything up. Let's mark and drill the holes. Start with a small drill bit, then widen it from the other side. easier that way. And check if the cable fits through the hole. It's time to install cable channels. Since they won't be very visible, I'll just use small pieces of tape. There is no real weight or strain, so no need for a full-length strip. But the light profiles themselves, those get a full strip of tape underneath. They're on the front, and any gaps would be noticeable. So, it turned out quite nice so far. Remember, the cabinet has the sliding doors, which I took off for installation. They cover the center part of the shelf a bit, so those wires which go into the cable channel won't be very visible. Almost there. Just need to connect everything behind the cabinet. I won't show this part in detail because it's too tight here. But you remember the diagram, don't you? Alright, it's time to put the models back on the shelf and voila! Everything works and looks pretty good. And that's it for my little project. Thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.